at Chapelaya Golf Course. My name is Rachel Easley, and today I'll be showing you how to properly maintain and care for a golf cart. Now, this process is specific to club car golf carts, but you may reference to these instructions while caring for other types of golf carts as well. Proper care and maintenance ensures that a golf cart stays in great shape for as long as possible. This video will walk you through the 13 steps of proper golf cart upkeep. Let's get started. Before starting the maintenance process, there's a few safety warnings that you need to be aware of. First, keep your entire body inside the cart while driving it at all times. Falling off the golf cart can cause serious injury or sometimes even death. Also, keep sparks and flames away from the golf cart at all times, as the batteries are flammable. Never wear loose clothing or jewelry, and always engage the parking brake before operating on the golf cart. Okay, let's talk about the tools and materials that you will need for the full maintenance process. For starters, you will need a long hose located in the washing station at the back of the cart barn, connected to a rather high pressure nozzle for washing the cart. You will also need plenty of dry rags and towels, Armor All that we put in a spray bottle, that way we can spray it on the carts rather than putting it on the towel first, glass cleaner like Windex, a small squeegee for cleaning the windshields, a scrub brush, 4-way lug wrench for removing tires, both a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver, pretty large, and battery terminal protectant spray. You will also need a single point battery water deionizer system, an air compressor to air up the tires, and a floor jack of this size. This is the washing station, which is where the hose and nozzle are located, as I mentioned earlier. And you will also need access to sand, which is located at the rear of the washing station, the white box. Okay, so let's get started with step number 1, which is removing trash. After a customer is finished using a golf cart, go ahead and drive it into the washing station and park it using your parking brake. Now, before any maintenance can really take place on a cart, it's important to remove any and all trash out of the cart. This is going to be things like water bottles, bottle caps, wrappers, broken balls, and used scorecards. So you're going to want to dispose of all that in the trash can. Alright, this brings us to step number 2, washing the cart. Go ahead and turn on the water with the cart parked next to the water hose and begin spraying the cart down. Start at the front of the cart and work your way around the body. You're going to want to pay close attention to the floorboards and the tire wells, because this is where mud and grass tend to cake up. So spend a little extra time on those areas and make sure you get everything knocked off. Once you get the sides done, then you're going to work your way to the back of the cart. It's a good idea to always check the top of the canopy for any extra dust, or sometimes trash is even left up there that people forget about. After you've sprayed down the entire cart, go back and use a scrub brush to clean off any remaining dirt, debris, or mud. Then, once you've checked that the cart has been completely washed from top to bottom, dry off the seats with a nice clean towel. Each cart is equipped with 2 sand bottles located on both sides of the cart. Now, they may not always need to be refilled, but you must check the sand bottles every time you wash a cart. If a bottle does need to be refilled, take it to the sandbox and refill it to the very top. Make sure that it's full and screw the cap back on securely. Now the cart's ready to be restocked. So each cart is stocked with 1 blank scorecard, 1 golf pencil, and 6 tees. Replace any of these missing components at the front of the washing station. Also, pay close attention to the pencil. It needs to be replaced if it's dull or broken. To keep the carts looking as new as possible, they need to be detailed regularly. At Atchafalaya, we detail our carts with Armor All. So first, dry off the cart completely with a nice dry towel. Next, take the spray bottle filled with Armor All, spray it on the cart, and rub it in with a wash rag. Armor All should never be applied to the steering wheel, seat handles, and floorboard due to a slipping hazard. Make sure you only apply it to the black bumper, cart body, dashboard and storage area, cup holders, the back side of the cart, and the canopy support beams. Putting in the extra effort on this step really does pay off. Now it's time to clean the windshield. We clean the outer and inner surfaces of the windshield with a glass cleaner such as Windex. After evenly spraying the windshield, use a towel or a small squeegee, like you see here, to remove all dirt and dust. If you're using a towel, just clean with short circular motions. And if you're using a squeegee like me, just make long vertical strokes. Don't forget to go back with a dry wash rag and clean off any Windex that may have dripped on the cart. Then just repeat this step for the inside surfaces of the windshield. Now this next step only needs to be performed in the event that we have a broken GPS screen that needs to be replaced. For example, like you see here, occasionally we have a stray ball that hits and cracks the screen, and now we need to replace the monitor. So to do that, just take your Phillips head screwdriver and loosen and remove the 2 screws at the rear of the GPS monitor. And now you'll be able to lift up on the broken monitor, unmount it, and unplug it, as you see there. Set it aside and take the new monitor that you will be replacing it with, plug it in, then mount it securely in place. Now you're going to take those screws and screw it into place. Now while you're tightening the screws, it really helps if you take your other hand and firmly grasp the front of the monitor so that it stays securely in place. Then take a microfiber cloth and clean off any smudges. After you've completed this step, turn on the GPS. Let's move on to step 8, which is tire pressure. If you see that a tire is low, go ahead and park it next to the air compressor and engage your parking brake. Turn on the air compressor and wait for the air to build to about 120 psi. This should just take a few minutes. Now remove the valve stem cap on the tire and place the nozzle on the air receiver and allow air to flow until the tire pressure is between 18 and 22 psi. Immediately screw the valve stem cap back on and turn off and unplug the air compressor. However, if a tire is damaged beyond repair, you will need to replace it completely. Make sure that the cart is sitting on a flat surface and that the parking brake is engaged. Then take a large flathead screwdriver to pry off the hubcap. Use a 4-way lug wrench to loosen the lug nuts, but do not remove them yet. Now you're going to take your floor jack, roll it underneath the cart like you see here, and raise the cart up until the tire is about 4 inches off of the ground. Next, you're going to pick up your 4-way lug wrench again and completely remove all the lug nuts and the tire. Then you're going to grab your new replacement tire, place it right there on the studs, and you're going to want to make sure that the valve stem cap is pointing out towards you. That way you know you have it facing the right way. Now, just place the lug nuts back on the studs and use a 4-way wrench to tighten the nuts in a crisscross pattern. It's especially important to tighten the lug nuts in a crisscross pattern to ensure that the tire is set evenly. If you don't do this, the tire may be uneven, causing the cart not to function properly. It won't ride evenly. Now release the jack so that all 4 tires sit evenly on the ground. And go ahead and finish securely tightening those lug nuts. Make sure that they're just about as tight as you can have them before finally popping back on the hubcap on the tire. Now let's move on to our next step, which is refilling the battery water. I want you to note that the batteries in the golf cart should only be watered once a month, so you do not have to do this step every time you take care of your golf cart. But whenever the cart batteries do need to be refilled with water and you have hooked up the battery water deionizer to a water source like you saw me do just a second ago, you're going to lift up the seat and locate the battery fill coupling on the driver's side of the battery compartment. So just do as you see here, reach in there and grab it, remove the dust cover, then take the hose end assembly and connect the two. You should hear a clicking sound. You might have to push kind of hard. And once it clicks, the water flow will begin right away. Now those red flow indicator balls will swirl, indicating that the batteries are being filled with water. When they stop moving, just press that gray button to disconnect the hose end assembly from the battery fill coupling. Then secure the dust cover back on and place that battery fill coupling back into the space between the battery and the car body. And then just put the seat down. And don't forget to go back, turn off the water, unscrew the hose from the water source, empty out any excess water left in the hose, and hang it back up on the water deionizer. Now with the cart still off, lift up the seat again to inspect the batteries. Check all terminals for any corrosion. And use a battery terminal protectant spray on each terminal to prevent corrosion from occurring. So that should be 1 short spray per terminal. And all wires should be tight and free of corrosion as well. And the battery hold down should be tight enough so that the batteries do not move while the vehicle is in motion. Moving on to step number 12, resetting the GPS. Now this step only needs to be done on the occasion that the GPS system on a cart needs to be reset. The cart configuration screen will appear on the monitor. So plug in the cart to its charger, enter in the corresponding cart number and site ID number, and then press done. The overview screen will then appear on the monitor. Next, unplug the cart and drive it out of the cart barn, parking just in front of the clubhouse. This will allow the satellite and Wi-Fi to recognize and register the cart. After that, you'll be good to go. Now that we've reached the end of the maintenance process, give the cart one last look for any damages. Then back the cart into its designated parking spot in the cart barn with the charger on the driver's side of the cart. Be careful not to park the cart too close to any adjacent carts. Then turn off the cart and put it in neutral. The charger number corresponds with the cart number. Take the cord and loop it through the steering wheel before plugging it in. Then just take the plug and push it into the receptacle. Do not rock or bend the plug. And now you've completed the maintenance process, and this is how your cart should look. Okay guys, just to wrap things up, at this point your cart should be turned off, plugged in, and charging with the key removed. It should look completely neat and organized, meaning there should be nothing in the storage compartments, nor should there be any dirt or sand on the floorboard. After the cart has been completely charged, it'll be ready to be pulled out and used again. Now, if you have any questions or problems with any of these steps, seek out a supervisor at Atchafalaya. If he's not on site, then turn to an experienced coworker and they'll be happy to help. Good luck and thanks for watching.